On a November evening in 1864, an audience of New York's rich and famous gather for an extraordinary event, a production of Julius Caesar starring the wildly popular Booth brothers, Edwin, Junius, and John Wilkes. What happens next is a startling brew of political assassination, Shakespeare and sibling rivalry, and one of the most remarkable nights in theater history. Joining us now to talk about the world premiere of Caesar's Blood are stars Stafford Douglas along with Hakeem Bellamy. Guys, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of people probably, they know the name, John Wilkes Booth. You know, he assassinated President Lincoln. They don't know about his brothers, though. They are kind of lost to history, but they were pretty popular back in the 19th century.
Very popular, and what's interesting is that the Booth family was actually one of the few American acting dynasties. John Wilkes Booth was not the most famous actor of the time. His father was far more famous than anyone.
Really?
And actually, John's older brother, Edwin, was one of the greatest actors of all time.
Wow.
Their older brother, Junius, was also an actor and a theater manager. All very famous, but there seem to be, you know, to history, they're all overshadowed by what John Wilkes Booth did.
Sure, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this based in a work of historic fiction, but the part you play, Hakeem, Benjamin Waters, he is not part of history. He was created for this story. Is that correct?
For this story, but it's interesting that Edwin Booth did have a valet, and his name was Jim Brown, not to be confused with James Brown.
Okay.
right. But that there was a space that Benjamin occupies.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be exciting for people to see how the world kind of exists through Benjamin's eyes.
Really? Okay. So how it exists through Benjamin's eyes? Does he work somewhat as a narrator for this story? Then, are we seeing it through his eyes?
Yeah, I don't want to give it away,
Okay.
Chad.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But the idea that you can tell a lot about the Booth brothers by their interaction with Benjamin, I think that's fair to say.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that makes sense. All right, so now this is obviously a work of historic fiction, as we said, but it's not just about history. It's not just about these historic events. There is a personal story behind this. Is that correct?
Absolutely, it's about a family. It just so happens that this is a highly dysfunctional family in a lot of ways. They're brothers who are divided and who can't get along, and it's all sort of under this historical framework. But really, it's just a story about a family and how they are trying to work through these differences.
Yeah.
So, Thanksgiving dinner, conversation around the table at Thanksgiving dinner in your family. Think about the variety of perspectives about current affairs.
Absolutely.
Well, and I would imagine, of course, in the timeline, 1864. This is the year before John Wilkes Booth
Yeah, only
assassinates
about 5
President
months
Kennedy.
before.
About 5 months.
Yeah.
So we are starting to see some of this unrest, I would imagine, come up and bubble into this.
Absolutely.
Into this story. Now, very quickly, I want to talk about the playwright, Rich Rubin. He's not a playwright by trade. Now, this is a world premiere of his work. It's not his first play. But what does he do for a living?
He's a physician, and for a while he taught at UNM, and he no longer lives here. He lives in Portland, I believe. But yeah, writing on the side, and you wouldn't know it from the beautiful words
rich.
in his play.
He's a poet, I would say.
He's a poet.
He's a
There you
poet
go.
in
Well,
many
and
ways.
he would know.
He would know, yeah.
All right, now I want to mention that the show opens next week, runs at the Adobe Theater through the end of April. Is that right?
April 17th.
April
yeah.
17th. Now you have a special performance on April 14th, which is a Thursday evening. Why are we doing a show on that day?
A couple of reasons. That's a pay what you will night, which means the audience can come in and pay to see the show for whatever amount. But also, April 14th is the night that John Wilkes Booth shot President Lincoln.
Okay.
So it's
It's an auspicious occasion.
It's an auspicious occasion.
Right. An interesting time to have this show again. So it's running at the Adobe Theater. What's the best way to get tickets for it?
You can go to adobetheater.org and get tickets there. There's also a phone number you can get, and we run Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 4 weekends, except the first Sunday, which is Easter. So no performance there.
There you go. No performance, but you make up for it on April 14th.
Yes, we will.
Fantastic, guys. Break legs. Have a great run of the show.
Wonderful.
Again, for more information on Caesar's Blood opening next weekend at the Adobe Theater, just head over to casa.com. For now,